Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Wednesday, November 25th, and this morning I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at BoomyTCF. On Twitter, I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. This morning we'll be talking about Jed Hoyer taking over for the Cubs. Theo is officially gone. And we have Jed Hoyer, which I'm excited about. I'm excited about now. We'll be talking about the Bears QB decision, who they'll be starting on Sunday night against the Packers. And then we'll have our NFL picks week 12. We're going to be picking every game on Thursday just for fun. We got some Thanksgiving games, so might as well have some fun with that. And then we got college basketball preview. College basketball starts today. It's starting this morning, and it's going to go all day. So we have that to look forward to for the next little bit. And then we'll have our TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition that we did on our podcast. I'll be replaying because guess what? This is our Thanksgiving show right here. This is the last show of the week, so it's going to be a jam pack. It's going to be a long show, so if you want, you can kind of break it up however you want, or you can just listen to it all. And then we got Boomy's Wacky web story, how we finish every single show. But if you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Please follow us on there. Go over the YouTube page of our morning shows, podcasts, interviews. Food reviews are on there. Please subscribe to the YouTube page and then podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. Give us that 5-star rating. And then if it's anywhere else, just please type in Typical Chicago Fans, and you will find us on there. Shout out to 26shirts.com. Chicago, use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com. Chicago. Boys, how are we doing this morning?
Little conflicted. Normally I'm try to remain as upbeat as possible. I'm done with work for the week, but unfortunately, one of my favorite musical artists and bands I listen to, I've talked about it a couple times. I'm a kind of a metalhead, like Warped Tour and all that stuff. But the lead singer of a band I listen to quite frequently found out he passed away today. Probably just a couple years older than me. So rest in peace, Aaron Melzer. So that was, it's good to, slide into a good long, weekend, but, tough news, and kind of sucks to start a long weekend off that way. But so I'll be blaring some metal music all weekend to show some love.
Maddie, how you doing?
Hanging in there, man. We got our dose of, first little dose of snow today in our area. I don't know about you guys. Woke up with the white stuff on the ground, so that wasn't the most enjoyable wake up. But
it's awful.
All things considered, I know we talked pre-show. Boomy's a big Thanksgiving guy. Wants to get a lot of respect at Thanksgiving. I'm with him there too. I'm a big fan,
as he would say.
Yeah, he did use the word. He did use the D word.
So he did the D word out.
And so I'm with you there. Big holiday coming up. We're doing it small in my household, just my wife and my kid. So we're gonna do all day long and just eat as much food as we possibly can. Cook and eat, and that's what we're doing.
There's no wrong you could do in that. Is just eating all day. It doesn't matter really what's going on. Just eat all day. That's the definition of Thanksgiving.
I started thinking of the cooking methods that we're going to be having. I'm going to be having my deep fryer going outside. I'm going to have my grill going, the oven, the Instant Pot, the crock pot, and the stovetop.
It's all for you.
All of those cooking methods are going to be used.
It's all for you
on Thursday.
It's a work of art.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be bouncing from the front yard to the backyard, the kitchen. Obviously going to be drinking the cranberry vodkas during the day. So it could be very, very interesting, boys. Let's put it that way.
Sounds like it, man. That's awesome.
Have a fun day. But let's get into the topics this morning. We got Jed Hoyer taking over as the Cubs. Was it president?
Yeah.
Vice president. What Theo Epstein did. And I think we're in good hands. I think Theo Epstein and him have built something that is going to be something that we can build on going forward. We don't have to totally rebuild. We got something there right now. Hopefully, we don't know what trades are going to happen throughout the rest of this offseason. Contracts are all up in the air still. How this next season is going to go. It's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but I think we are in the right hands.
Yeah, it's a nice transition. It's not like they had to go out and hire from without. When you hire from within, you're just kind of changing, a couple things here and there, and hopefully that Jed has learned throughout his many years in baseball. Like you said, Zach, you put it well. I think we're in good hands. Jed Hoyer's ready for this. There's a reason. I mean, he's probably been offered every open job in the last 4 or 5 years that he's applied for. The guy knows his stuff, and obviously he's won. So there's a reason he stayed, and hopefully that it comes to fruition as he's given this huge task of taking over the Cubs in the situation they're at. So I'm excited, though.
What I think it is it's a big compliment to what Theo did and what Jed Hoyer did and what they've built over the last 10 years as it is. And, one of the things in that initial press conference that Theo had and stressed about was the sustained success. They wanted to build a contending team year in and year out. Maybe not win it, maybe not be the best team every year, but they have a chance every year, and they've done that the last 5 years or 6 years or so. And Jed Hoyer, it's an ode to him that, hey, the ship's been on the right course. It hasn't been ideal the last few years, but he's been a big part of that success. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the golden era of Cubs baseball still. And yeah, maybe it is the downward portion of it. Maybe it's towards the end of it. Who knows? And maybe it's not. And who knows? So you got a guy who knows the team. There's not going to be any transition of needing to learn the organization or learn the talent or anything like that. You know what you got. I'm sure he's got a plan ready to go of what he wants to do.
I think him and Theo have also been working on a plan, maybe.
Yeah. This transition's been in the works for a long time. Let's not kid ourselves.
If it wasn't going to happen this year, it was going to happen next year. So there's always been plans.
Well, if it wasn't going to happen next year, Zach, it was going to happen outside of the organization because Hoyer's not going to stick around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. I mean, that it's the natural progression.
He stuck around as long as he did, knowing what was in the future. But let's move on to some other Chicago sports news. Bears QB situation, still no quarterback has been named the starter yet. Mitch Trubisky has been said that his shoulder is feeling better. He's out there I don't know. Maddie, what's wrong?
I want 10.
I didn't know what that was. Yes, I also want Trubisky out there. You've seen what Nick Foles had. It's not been good. At least with Trubisky, if he's out there, you have the threat of he can run at least a little bit. I don't know. That's the only difference. I mean, there's no difference in the two guys. I mean, it's not like Nick Foles is going out there. Oh yeah, remember that first time he came in? Oh, he throws the ball different. He gets the guys in the spots. It's just different. No, it's not. No, it is not. It's not been different at all.
They're both tremendously flawed quarterbacks. Where Trubisky's got an advantage is his athleticism, and where the Bears also have another fatal flaw is their offensive line. And when you've got a quarterback that can extend the play a little bit, keep the play alive, maybe pick up a first down here and there with his feet, Nick Foles cannot move.
He cannot.
He looks like Drew Bledsoe at the end of his career right there. And he's a sitting duck behind this offensive line for picks and fumbles. And he may be a better option. But I think I said this to you guys pre-show, but if they had an outstanding offensive line, Nick Foles is probably the better option with this offense. Just his ability to move the ball a little bit more accurate. If he's got time to throw, he's going to make the right decision every time. Without that offensive line, he doesn't. I don't know, man. He's not going to make plays on his own.
No.
So at some point, you just got to be able to get. You got to have a guy that can do something.
Yeah, like with Trubisky out, it's not like Nick Foles has been going out there and lighting up the field, and they're actually doing worse.
No, yeah, the offense.
like I said, it's probably a lost cause anyways. But let's just see what Trubisky's got if he's healthy.
Well, if anything, too, Trubisky, it's like one last chance. You might get if he goes out and has a 4-week or 5-week stretch that looks similar to 2018. He's going to get a big-ass payday in the offseason from someone. A lot. I shouldn't say a big-ass payday, but probably a lot more from someone else than he would have without it. You know what I mean? So he can still make himself some money if he can flip the switch and, harness that run he had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm excited to see over the next few days what happens with that.
I'm excited to see Nagy and him on the sideline. Let's not kid ourselves, too, because the awkward tension would be just palpable.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited to see what they go with on Sunday night against the Packers. But let's get into our picks right now. NFL picks week 12. Boomy, do you have the numbers for us right now?
Yep. Give me just a second. We all sucked last weekend. Bad. I went 2-4. Zach went 2-4. Matt went 1-5. I was at 35, 28-2. Zach's at 29, 34-2, and Matt is at 31, 33-2. So this might be the time to start fading the TCF crew because we haven't had a winning week in.
But you know what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do is we're gonna give you more picks.
Yeah. None of the three of us have had a winning week since week 9.
Hey,
is that
due.
Good or bad?
We're due.
It's not good.
We're due. But boys, you want to get right into the picks? We got
Thursday. Just a minute ago, we're going to take all the Thursday games. And then we're going to go into it now, assuming that Baltimore and Pittsburgh are going to play.
And then, like I said, we also, like we always do, we take the lines that are right now because we are recording this on a Tuesday, so the lines will for sure change for most of these games. But let's get into it. I am going to take the Texans minus 2.5 versus the Lions. This Lions team is bad. I think Matthew Stafford had like 5 turnovers or something last week. And I think the Texans, yes, they're not the greatest team, but I think that Deshaun Watson can beat this Lions team that is just bad right now.
I'm going to go with I'm going to fade, actually. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm going to go with the home dog. I think it's a tale of two really, really bad teams that have really bad organizations that are running them that have seemed to be perpetually bad. And it's going to be one of those things. You never know which team's going to have somebody that shows up. I tend to think, like in the NFL, it seems like whatever happens is the opposite of what you think was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So, you look at last week, the Lions looked horrible. Texans won, beat New England. Of course, the Lions will win by 50 this week. That's like how it works in the NFL, it seems like. So, between that's why I'm just going to stick with the Lions. Not that I have any other reason to back them.
I'm going with the Texans strictly on the fact that, the Lions without – did I say Lions or Texans?
You just said
You
Texans,
said the Texans.
But then you just said Lions.
The Lions without
you guys have 3 points too, right? You guys have it at 3?
I got it. Zach had it at 2.5.
Whatever.
Okay. I got DraftKings has 3 right now, but either way.
Well, I'll put you down for +3. I'll put us down for -2.5.
Yeah,
so, pull that. But the reason is because I think the Lions, when Kenny Galladay out there, are a completely different team. It feels like the games that he's played in, they have been in. They've won some of those games. And when he's out like last week, it is just ungodly bad because they really don't have a whole lot of other options. I mean, they've got a couple guys at running back that are showing spots, but they have no one that can catch the ball outside of Kenny Galladay. Mm-hmm. And when he's not in there, it is ugly. It is really ugly, and I refuse to believe in the Lions. So I'm going to go with the Texans. -2.5.
I love that. I'm going to go the next game. Cowboys -3 against the football team, the Washington football team. I just think Andy Dalton. Yeah, say what you want. I think he can beat this football team, this Washington football team. I just think that I don't know. like I said, another game, two bad teams, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Maddie?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys too. I think Washington's an interesting team defensively. I think they've got they've got a little bit of an interesting defense.
Their offense is just not good. They can't find it at quarterback. Alex Smith, it's awesome that he's back, but it's just not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. Dallas, I think, with Dalton, they've got weapons in the passing game. They've got good receivers. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott's a stud. It's a team that should be able to string some wins here and there. I'm not saying they should be as good as they were with Dak, but Dalton's a capable quarterback at some point, you would think. So I'm going to roll with you, Zach, on that one. I'm going to take Dallas -3.
Love it.
I'm going to go Washington just because everything tells me that I should be betting Dallas.
But me and Maddie take it, and you have to go the other way.
No, I had that one written down at noon this morning. But
you might not be wrong fading me and Matt.
Right. Well, shoot, I mean, fading any of us is really the way to go here. But Washington, I think that they're going to – I don't know, man. It feels like they got a little bit of something going. Maybe Alex Smith keeps it rolling. And I just think last week was a flash in the pan for the Cowboys. I think they just caught Minnesota. I think they just caught them at the right time. And there's so much bad football I've seen out of the Dallas Cowboys that I just don't believe that they can do it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, the first two games, not going to be very good games. But like you said, it's Thanksgiving. Eat some food, watch some games. Last game of the day, hopefully we can have this game. Like you said, we got some stuff going on with the Ravens facility with COVID. But I have the Steelers -4.5 versus the Ravens. That'll be the night game. I think that's going to be an awesome game if it is played. But I am going to go with the Steelers. I think that they are still on a roll. I just don't think this Ravens team is very good. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. Maddie?
I'm going with my approach in the first game, Boomy's approach in the second. The team that should win, the team that's the better team, the team that's been the better team all season, I'm going against them. I'm going to take the Ravens on the road. It's kind of a desperation situation for them. Plus, you're getting almost 5 points on DraftKings right now, 5.5 at Westgate too. So a little bit of almost a touchdown for them. You can see that line trickling back up a little bit too. So, it's two teams that know each other inside and out. They're going to play close games, so I'd probably hover. I would stay away from the money line if you're going to back Baltimore, but in this particular game, I'll just stick with the Ravens.
I will. So I'm going to go with you, Matt. I like the Ravens, assuming they're all like everybody plays. Like if they're down big name guys, obviously stay away from it. But I see it at -5, so I'll give it to Zach at Pittsburgh -4.5, and I'll put me and Matt at +5.
I think we're all alone on one game. I think each of us are alone on one game of each of the three.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. Kind of like I said earlier, like the team that should win, just it hasn't worked out, and I think this quick turnaround is going to do. Not Dallas. Pittsburgh has done a horrible job at playing down to their competition all year, and I feel like with the quick turnaround. And kind of Baltimore's at the point where like they need to start winning games, or they're not going to be, or they're going to be, a 6-7 seed. And I think they're going to be able to turn it on. And I would maybe consider, if everybody's healthy, sprinkling a little bit on Baltimore money line just because that it's nice and juicy. But
I got the Steelers in that one. You guys got the Ravens. Like Maddie said, we don't have a consensus on any of these games for the three of us, which is just probably a good thing.
Yeah. So pick your fade wisely.
Yeah, pick your fade wisely. Yeah. But let's move into the Sunday noon games. I'll go with my first one. I don't think anyone's going to want to take this one. I got Giants -5.5 at Bengals. Bengals without Joe Burrow. I think that the Giants can at least cover the spread in Cincinnati, but I'm going with the Giants -5.5.
It doesn't matter where that game's at. I mean, gun to your head, who's Cincinnati's backup?
No idea.
Ryan Finley.
Sorry, I didn't know you were a card-holding member of the Ryan Finley fan club, man.
No, I've been sobbing my tears in a lot of Joe Burrow articles.
Oh, that makes sense, son.
I got
That's a good pick, though, Zach. I almost went with that one,
Boomy,
but I just don't.
What are you going to go with then?
I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders, and I'm probably falling into a trap because they played so well. It's exactly what happened when they beat Kansas City earlier in the season. I picked them the next week, and I'm pretty sure they lost. But it's because they are going on the road to Atlanta. As long as they don't play down to their competition, they're a better football team than Atlanta.
Atlanta stinks.
Yeah, but Atlanta's played in some games recently since obviously they fired their head coach. But I like Vegas, and I've talked about it a couple times. I think they're a good team. I just hope that they don't play down to their competition.
I think I like that pick, actually. So I might go with that one, too. Maddie?
I'm going to go with my first one. I'm going to go with Buffalo, laying 5.5. I think they're going to absolutely maul the Chargers. I think they're going to be able to move the ball up and down the field at will against that defense. And I think Herbert has shown a lot of potential. He's also shown some rookie decision making at a lot of times too. So I think he's capable of a couple of turnovers against kind of a feisty defense at times in Buffalo. I won't say they're nearly as good as they've been in past years, but that offense is really, really good. Josh Allen, I think, is the real deal at this point. So I think an easy touchdown cover for them.
I like all those picks right now. I'm going to go with my next pick. It's going to be the Cardinals minus 2.5 in New England. I think the Patriots are just not good right now. I think the Cardinals, they got something going at least. I don't think I don't know. I think that's kind of a low number for the Cardinals right now with the way the Patriots are playing. Boomy, what is your last noon pick?
I'll do you one better. I got that Arizona game at -2. You know what? I'm going with the Dolphins -7. I was going to go with the Cardinals. They were the other one I had written down. But I just think this is going to be a bounce back game. Like you said, man, and New York is just, I mean, they are unbearably bad. So I think this is a good chance. Like we've talked about, I think Miami's got a shot to make it into the playoffs. And you need to have a convincing win here if you want people to get back on your train after that horrible loss in Denver.
Yeah, and then benching Tua, that was quite weird.
I also had Arizona -2 written down, so I like that pick too.
Love it. Maddie?
I'm going to go with the Titans, 3.5-point road.
I actually had that written down too.
Going to Indy. I think Derrick Henry is going to give that team fits. I think it's a good defense in Indy. I think they get a little bit of extra credit for beating up on some weak offenses, in my opinion. I think Henry later on in the season just becomes such a problem for teams, especially division teams who he knows. He knows how to attack. He's going to be ridden really, really hard at this point. And between him and A.J. Brown, who are just so physically dominant against their opponents, the season wears on. That's not easy to deal with. And I think those guys, it's going to start looking a lot like last year with that team, where they're going to start building up steam, and they're going to get a lot better as the year goes on. I don't think he is let alone a favorite by over a field goal. I'd put that game almost at a pick 'em personally, but
it was at a pick 'em when they played like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you're getting a 3-point home cushion, and I don't think it's proven right now. Home field is not mattering like it used to in the NFL with the lack of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the Titans plus 3.5.
Love it. I loved all those picks. I don't know if that's good or bad. But for the 3 o'clock slate, we got only 3 games. So I'm going to go with the Rams -7 versus the 49ers. I think that the Rams, after that big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they're going to roll, and I just don't think that the 49ers are very good.
I don't hate that pick at all. I'm going Saints -5.5. I'm convinced. I'm on the Taysom Hill train. Let's go, man. I think that Denver cannot duplicate what they did last week either. They had a good game. They can't even say they had a good game. They scored 20 points. Their defense played well, and Miami's offense played absolutely horrible. And I think that New Orleans is kind of seeing that they maybe didn't think they were going to have a chance to win that division at some points, and now they're seeing that the Buccaneers aren't as good, and they're going to roll into Denver and take care of business -5.5.
I love it, Maddie.
If Tampa Bay cannot stop the Rams offense, from
what are they going to do against Kansas City?
What is Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes going to do?
That's a good call.
And I'm going to absolutely pound the living hell out of KC. They had a little bit of a scare last week coming off the bye against the Raiders. Good Oakland team, tough Oakland team, especially in prime time. They're still Oakland to me.
I know. I love that you said it.
It's still San Diego.
I was going to say, I call them the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, whatever. Sue me. The Chiefs, though, are absolutely going to murder New England and Tom Brady here this week. So, kidding. It's a joke.
That's a good pick, Maddie.
You missed that. You missed that I said New England and Tom Brady instead of Tampa and Tom Brady. Come on.
The Sunday night game. We don't even really need to say I'm taking the Bears. Maddie's taking the Bears. Boomy's taking the Packers. Plus 8.5 is what I have it at right now.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Aaron Rodgers.
Not when Mitchie Dimes is out there.
Oh, yeah, baby.
You need to be more worried about Tyler Bray having to start.
Yeah, you see my shirt, my 26 shirt. I got Trubisky
Man,
right
I just saw your
Trubisky's back.
On video.
We're going to.
I've seen so many Tyler Bray type quarterbacks in my life in this 30-year run as a Bear fan.
Like Maddie said, Mitchie Dimes, baby. And then the Monday night game, I have the Seahawks -5 in Philadelphia. I just think this Eagles team is bad.
Fuck that team. They're dead to me. I'm with you, Zach. I would take Seattle laying 10. I would take Seattle laying 12.
Carson
the
Wentz
Eagles
is
suck.
bad.
I hate that team. And now that means the Eagles are probably going to win, so I'm sorry if whoever's riding me on this game, that's your fault anyway.
Yeah.
But give me Seattle regardless.
Boomy?
Give me I need to type up some real quick notes here. I was going to go Seattle. You guys, I don't know, man. In no world should Seattle even play in a close game with Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia is unbearable. I mean, they just lost.
Then what did we just say that would skew your pick?
But nothing makes sense in the NFL right now.
What makes sense is that the Eagles stink.
Carson Wentz sucks, dude. That guy sucks.
There's nothing about this that makes sense. Screw it. Give me the Eagles. I'm just gonna.
Why can't
in all the
wackiness?
give me the Eagles.
We couldn't have one consensus pick tonight. Unbelievable.
Boomy's got to ruin it.
Got to ruin it.
Actually, you know what? I'll go with what I originally had down Seattle. I'll stick with it. We'll ride together on that one.
Now he just mushed us by flipping.
Yeah, now we're screwed.
Yeah, now everybody go bet Philadelphia +5. Everybody that listens to this, spend all the money.
That's a 5-star lock from every tout out there. It's going to be Philly now.
That was our.
I went with a lot of games where I said this doesn't make sense, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to stick with this one. I had Seattle.
That was my approach this week.
Yeah, but I've kind of thought that on, we have 8 picks this week. I feel like 5 of them, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense, so I'm going to take this. I'm not doing it in this one. Seattle is a better football team. Philadelphia is dead.
And it's a big week for the standings, boys. Somebody can make up some ground. We could see what happens here. It'd be kind of fun.
I think we got to sprinkle it in. Like maybe week 17, we just got to bet the board.
Yeah, we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at with it. But I think, like I said, it was fun to do all the Thursday games. But that was our NFL picks.
Playoffs.
Week
maybe do
12.
all playoff games.
Yeah, we'll do playoff games too. We'll have a bunch of fun with it. But let's move on to college basketball preview. Today is the first day of college basketball. I think it's like 9 a.m., 8 a.m. first game.
Zach, we got to drop in like the CBS college basketball music.
It's amazing. We got college basketball for the foreseeable future. Hopefully it doesn't anything happen with the season. But boys, how pumped are we for a little basketball? We all love football, but we're ready for to get back to the basketball. I know, Boomy, it's your favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favorite. Probably like running back in my family. That's like we've got a deep connection to college hoops with my dad, and my brother. So it's this is a big one for me. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
Best time of the year.
College.
And
college basketball is awesome.
If you don't know much about college basketball, but you know like the traditional blue blood and you know the name, Duke, Kentucky, Carolina, this is the year to kind of get back into it because I feel like there's going to be a lot of chalk early in the year because there's a lot less non-conference games. A lot of the bigger names in the top 25 are those powerhouse conferences schools. You're probably not going to see a Dayton Flyers, be the number one seed in it this year, but that could obviously change. But the way we're looking at it right now, there's going to be a lot of conference games, and some conferences even expanded their conference play. So if you're going to get back into it, now is the time. But man, this is the best time of the year.
I think you're going to see teams playing a lot of flexible games too. So with COVID, they're going to be able to reschedule with regional teams. There's so many Division I basketball teams, so each state has a few.
Was there like 300
a few
teams starting up today?
Yeah, 350, 360, something like that when it's all said and done. So you're going to be able to schedule teams that in your region if maybe a Northern plays ISU because both of them had COVID cancellations from the opposing teams or something like that. So there's going to be ways to hopefully get a lot of the games in or get more games in, and I love the idea of the bubble tournament at the end of the year. I think that's the only way to make it work.
Some conferences are talking about doing conference bubbles once January 1st hits because the kids are in online classes anyway. I mean, get them together in whatever city and just play all your stuff there. It's going to be really interesting. And like today, we have games starting. There's already 20 games either postponed or canceled. So it'll be interesting to see how teams kind of navigate those waters. And we've talked about that in every major sport so far. But, they've got it done. They've got through it. But yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be interesting to see what the level of play looks like. Matt, I know you're, deep into it, but like, what is these first weeks of games going to be like as far as execution? Because a lot of programs have had to suspend practices for 2 weeks because someone catches COVID, or they have to, maybe only practice a couple times before they go into their first game. So it'll be, and the summer stuff was non-existent. So I'm really excited to see what the level of play is for the first month or so.
Well, it was interesting to me. I was reading an article actually earlier this morning. It was an interview with Roy Williams about Caleb Love. Carolina's got a freshman starting point guard. Yeah, and they got him and R.J. Davis as a starting freshman backcourt starting this year. And what he was saying was they haven't had any. They usually always play one other Division I preseason game, like in a scrimmage. They always play a bunch of Division II and Division III scrimmage games. Usually a 4-in all-star team as well. So they usually have 5 or 6 games where these guys can get a little bit of run, get a little bit of physical contact going. Instead of playing, he doesn't know what he has with his freshman, backcourt because all they're playing against is their second stringers, so he doesn't really have a measuring stick to that. So I think it's going to be interesting there. On the flip side, though, with teams that are heavily loaded with freshmen, I think you're not going to have that early season jitters that you see with the packed gyms on a Saturday night. You're not going to have guys that are going to be, kind of shitting themselves a little bit, when they have to go to Cameron Indoor when it's a screaming gym, when all of a sudden it's just 2 hoops that you're used to playing on in a quiet gym. So I think that's going to make a big impact in a lot of ways with some of the freshmen. I think some of those guys might be able to make a little bit more of an impact than you would see early on.
100%. I didn't even think about that. When I was with the NIU women's team, we would scrimmage against UW Milwaukee every year. And then we would play 2 exhibition games against like a D2 or D3 school. Then you pick up like an interstate, other small school. So you have 4 games before you're really kind of quote unquote.
Even some of those barnstorming semi-pro teams, they'd play teams like that, So they're losing out just on a lot of just the scrimmage side alone. Yeah.
I think the early play these first couple of weeks, I know Vegas will obviously respond, but I think there's going to be quite a bit of unders.
You think?
Depending, obviously, what they adjust the lines at. Yeah, man.
It's going to be interesting.
I think it could go the other way.
I haven't played competitive games since the beginning of March.
Defenses will be bad.
We got to talk local, though. How about the Big Ten this year? The Big Ten is going to be absolutely loaded.
Loaded. It's going to be awesome. I think there's, 3 or 4 teams in the top 10?
No, it's Oh, in the top 10. I'm sorry. I thought you said.
They got 4, I think 4 in the top 10. So 4 legit title contenders, in Iowa, Illinois.
Really and truthfully, COVID helped a lot of those teams with the way the draft happened, and then a lot of those teams got their players back.
Michigan's good. Michigan State's always going to be tough. They're never going to be an easy out. Ohio State's got talent. Purdue's going to be.
And you know what the wild thing is Penn State was going to have a really nice year, and then their coach ends up kind of walking away after some controversy, a month ago. So like that it obviously could be a 10-team league, but it had an opportunity to be an 11-team league. Like it was maybe going to be last year, but they're gonna have 8 or 9, I think. But the Big Ten, I think, right now speaking, is the best conference in the country.
I think you are correct, Boomy. I don't think it's really close. I think just look at the top, even 25, and you'll notice that.
Yep.
And Gamer's a big U of I fan, right?
Yeah, they are. They're going to be good.
U of I is going to be outstanding.
Be awesome.
I'm
excited. I'm just excited.
That freshman Adam Miller is going to be a really good fit for those guys too. I think he's a distributing point guard. It sounds like a little bit. He doesn't need to have the shoot first mentality with.
And he played high school ball with AO, so they kind of grew up.
Oh, did he really? I didn't even realize that.
They both went to Morgan Park.
Oh boy,
he was
even better fit than I thought. Then
that was the last state championship I saw. Miller was a junior, and AO was a senior.
Huh?
That team was unbelievable. There were like 2 other kids that went D1, I think, too.
But we got basketball all day today. It's going to be awesome. We finally got college basketball back. It's something that we haven't had. We didn't have March Madness, so it kind of just didn't have the end of the college basketball year that you're used to. So it's just like it's been one of those things that just kind of went away real quick. Because even NBA came back and they finished the season. So I'm excited.
What would you guys say if you had to pick like one team, one player, whatever it may be, that you're looking forward to seeing this year?
I'm really looking forward to Illinois, honestly. I know that's whatever. I don't have a team.
That's a totally fair.
I don't have a team, but I've
point.
always liked to watch Illinois, and I've always wanted
they
to
could
be
win
good.
it. They have the talent to win it this
with
year.
With them getting players back that they didn't think they were going to get back, and the way that the Big Ten is going to be, if they can be dominant in this conference, it's going to be exciting.
My team I'm going with is probably one I like a lot and I've talked about, but Gonzaga. They're preseason number 1. And obviously they've had this success there. They've been to so many tournaments. They got to a championship game. Mark Few is one of the best coaches of his era, but can they, put it all back together and get back there? The player I'm looking forward to is Luka Garza at Iowa. He comes in with so much hype. He comes back, they make the big deal out of it. He's, a preseason All-American. But the reason I say that, Zach, and I agree, I'm not cheering for Iowa or anything, but can he come back and fill those shoes that he was going to leave 3, 4, 5 months ago before he decided to come back? Or is he
go up, or will it go down?
He wouldn't have been
I know, but you know what I mean.
This could be good for him because if he's changed some parts of his game and he goes back to college, he takes himself from an early second rounder to maybe a lottery pick. He is damn good. He is very good. Creighton ranked at 11. I'm excited to see. I love what McDermott does out there. And Matt, your Tar Heels intrigue me as well.
They got 4 good bigs. It's going to be a little bit of a traditional Carolina team. They're gonna try to rebound the hell out of everything offensively again with Baycott and Garrison Brooks in the middle, and then 2 big freshmen with Sharp and Kessler backing them up too. So they're gonna try to dominate on the boards, get the ball out in transition, do what Roy Williams likes to do is run and gun. So they'll be a lot better than they were last year, which won't be difficult. But
and one player to watch for, Matt McClung, the Georgetown transfer to Georgia Tech, or I'm sorry, not Georgia Tech, Texas Tech. The internet sensation.
That kid's nuts. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Kate Cunningham, the freshman, Oklahoma State. Yeah, a 6'8" guard that can score, does everything, plays defense. Sounds like he's a great kid too. So Yeah, outstanding talent. It sounds like. So I'm really excited to see him.
He's already projected to be like the third pick in the draft, I think.
It's insane.
Most people are saying
mock
number
drafts
one
for 2021, like right after the draft.
He's
It's like, come
18
on.
years old.
Most people are already saying number one. 6'7", 220. He's got the frame already. So I don't know. He's going to be interesting to watch. I think you hit the nail on the head with Gonzaga. That team's going to be absolutely loaded.
Love Gonzaga.
If they're not going to win it this year, I don't know. Are they ever gonna? Villanova is going to be really good. Virginia got Hauser coming from Marquette. That's a great pickup for them.
They got two Hausers coming from Marquette, don't they?
No, the other one went to Michigan State.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, one went to State, and then the other one went
Imagine
to...
if they could have pulled off both of them.
The one that went to Virginia, I think, is Sam. I think he's the better one, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's kind of a do-everything kind of
Marquette lost everything.
Yeah, that's a damn shame, Wojo. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be an interesting year. The Big Ten's just absolutely filthy loaded. I can't wait. Zach, I'm kind of jealous. You said you get all day to take it all in, watch games all day. So I'm kind of jealous of you there. But Creighton is another one of those under the radar teams that it's going to be.
The average college basketball watcher hasn't watched a Creighton game since Doug McDermott started.
They're good year in and year out. It seems like, and then we get later this week we get Kansas Gonzaga right off the bat too.
Oh yeah,
good game to look forward to this week.
I love it. So you said today is a day where you just sit back, you watch all the college basketball you can, and just get ready for the next, like you said, few months of all this. It's going to be a lot of competitive basketball because there'll be a lot of conference games going on. The Big Ten is going to be awesome. So we're just excited. That was our college basketball preview. Like you said, you could tell that Boomy and Maddie are ready for this college basketball season to get underway. But we did this. It was on the podcast that came out. I think it was Saturday. We did our TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition. So we did. What was it, Boomy?
So it was one meat, two sides, a dessert, and a drink.
And so we did that. We're going to put that in right here because this is kind of our Thanksgiving episode. So here is the TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition.
We going to finish up the show, as always, with a TCF Top. Last week was the first ever TCF Top 4. Today might be the first ever TCF Top 5.
Next week we're gonna have a top 6. We might go all the way up to top 25. You never know.
We're gonna have like a 7-hour episode because we're gonna have to do top 27 of something. Just get prepared for the ride. So we are doing a Thanksgiving edition. So the parameters to the Thanksgiving draft of the TCF Top 5 is you have to have a meat, two sides.
Matt just tried talking. Matt, what were you saying when you were muted?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It won't work now.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. It's just you see Matt talking and you see his lips moving. You're like, oh, he's muted.
I know. I just saw it too. I started talking and I saw the muted microphone and I saw Zach. And I just had to go cover it up.
Whenever I see somebody's lips moving, it's like, oh, he's muted. Sorry, Boomy, not to cut you off there.
You're good. To clarify the parameters, you have to have a meat, two sides, a dessert, and a drink. So we'll go ahead and get started. I have decided on a random draw. Zach gets to lead us off this week.
So
it doesn't have to be in any particular order. You can go meat. You can go side.
I don't know how far this will go. I'm going turkey. I'm taking the turkey. I'm taking all the turkey.
Zach's going staple.
Do you have a preference in the type of turkey? Do you like deep fried turkey? Do you like oven turkey?
Cut up and sitting right there for me to eat.
And hot.
Yes, that is the only preference I have on my turkey.
Well, so I can make sure that this staple doesn't get to him. I'm going to go ham. I think ham is a superior meat. It doesn't dry out the way turkey does. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind turkey, but if you're giving me the choice, you can only eat a plate of ham or a plate of turkey. I'm going to eat the ham.
I'm taking another very hot take.
Well, Matt's got some high class falutin like turducken, probably.
No, see, here's what I'm going to do. do I have to go meat, or can I take?
You can do whatever
you guys
you
both
want.
took, because now that you took the top two, supposedly, I want to sidebar that ham is absolute trash. By the way, anyway, trash.
You're not. That is.
I'm going.
This is coming from the guy that doesn't eat leftover pizza. So
yeah,
sides. You know what? I'm gonna go sides. I'm gonna double up on sides too, because sides are better than turkey.
I know where this is going.
I'm going mashed potatoes, and I'm going with stuffing, and I'm going with
son of a gun.
I'm going 1 and 1A. You guys can have all the dry turkey you want. You can have all the trash ham you want. I get stuffing and potatoes. See ya, boys.
Well, you missed out on the best side, and that's mac and cheese, because that's what I'm going with.
That was third. That was here too. If one of you took a side first, that was where I was going with mac and cheese. So you're right, Boomy. That's the only right answer.
I gotta do some thinking now. I like a little cheesy potatoes. Can I go cheesy potatoes?
Yes. That's definitely different than mashed potatoes. Absolutely.
And then I'm going to knock out my other side. I'm going corn. I love some just good old-fashioned corn. I don't know why that is like a Thanksgiving.
It shouldn't be. Corn is delicious.
That's what Squanto planted. That's what Squanto planted for the first Thanksgiving. That's why you have to have it.
You can put it in the mashed potatoes and the gravy. Yeah. You can get all mixed together.
Yes, all right. Sir.
My third round pick, I'm also going to go to the sides, and I'm going to go with a good dinner roll. There's nothing better than a dinner roll. Take your ham, make a little sandwich out of it. Maybe go a little mashed potatoes, maybe a little mac and cheese for some extra flavor. A good dinner roll goes a long way on that plate.
I may be crazy, but I don't know. Maybe they sell it somewhere. Whatever that the butter they give you at Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, that is crack cocaine.
The honey, honey butter.
Oh, cinnamon butter.
Cinnamon butter. That's right. Cinnamon butter.
That stuff is amazing.
All right.
Amazing.
All right. You cast a stone at me a few minutes ago that I'm going to go with some high class, highfalutin meat, Boomy. And I am actually, but it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be one of the prime, absolutely primo holiday meats. And I kind of started giving it away. Nope, it's prime rib. Good prime rib at any holiday dinner is an absolute bomb alternative. Yeah. A bomb alternative to any turkey, any ham. You get the red meat because you still got the turkey. You get, with same thing with ham. You've got to have a red meat, and prime rib is perfect for a large gathering at a holiday.
That's a wonderful pick, Matt, but I didn't realize we were going to Thanksgiving in the Hamptons.
Hey,
you don't know where Maddie goes for his Thanksgiving. True. All right, Boomy. Oh, wait.
Nope, Matt. That's a great pick, Matt. I love prime ribs. So.
Prime ribs. It wasn't that highfalutin either.
No, it's really not.
All right, beverage. I'm going alcoholic, boys, and we don't have cranberry sauce on our Thanksgiving dishes here. But so I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to go cranberry vodka as my cocktail for Thanksgiving.
What do you guys feel about cranberry sauce?
Yuck.
Yep.
My mother-in-law makes a homemade one, not like the canned one. I can live with actual. It's like almost like a cranberry compote.
No, I love how people go. No, I understand, but you go, oh, you're not gonna like this version of it. We'll make it homemade. It must be better.
Yeah, that's usually the case, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you don't like it in the first place, you're not going to just like it because
my first thought when you say is the can where it comes out and it looks like it's on the inside of a can. If it's homemade,
that's on you for thinking that.
No, that's on society.
It's on you.
Matt, sorry, what was your pick again?
Cranberry vodka.
Cranberry.
But I'm gonna say this though, with the cranberry sauce, like I think Boomy's right. I think the first instinct is the can. Like with the rib sides and everything.
Yeah.
And what's weird is I'm talking about my mother-in-law's homemade cranberry sauce. My wife, whose mother makes this stuff, actually prefers the canned one.
Really?
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Riddle me that. I don't know. She likes the old school canned weird ass gelatin. I don't know.
I'm gonna take my dessert here, and I'm gonna leave you guys pumpkin pie because I'm just not. I'm staying true to myself. I'm not the biggest pumpkin pie guy. Pecan pie is one of my favorite pies, so I'm gonna go pecan pie.
Well, you're also a dum-dum. I'm gonna take pumpkin pie because it's amazing. And then for my drink, you know what? It's at all my Thanksgivings, Busch Light.
I had a feeling that was coming.
And usually Thanksgiving is the day after a night where you usually get a little drunk. You go out with your buddies. That will not be happening this year. So we won't have to be fixing a hangover either on Thanksgiving this year.
But you could do a home-induced hangover.
True.
Very true.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go with a good either a glass of whiskey or I'm trying to think of the exact name. I'm drawing a blank on it. I'm trying to get into
milk.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to curdle in the glass. What is it, the term where you put like whiskey in a glass, you put some sugar, and then you
Three
put fruit?
fingers?
No. You put like sugar in it, and then there's like orange in it. It's a very basic whiskey.
Oh, an old fashioned.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get into whiskey. Shout out to my brother-in-law Blake. He's a big whiskey guy. I started drinking some old fashions, but if you're gonna do it, I think you got to do it on Thanksgiving. A little wild turkey.
Yeah,
it is good.
All right, boys. I'm gonna go for my dessert. It's probably something no one's ever heard of, but I got to give a shout out to my grandma. Rest in peace. She made a pie for years. Never had a recipe, but every year it was absolutely the most dynamite dessert you could ever have. My mom's tried to replicate it. Is getting close, but it can't just nail what my grandma used to do. But it's called an upside down apple walnut pie.
Oh boy,
that sounds amazing.
My grandma grew up in the South, was raised by a mother from the South, so she took her baking and her cooking very, very seriously. She did that for part of her career as a chef as well. So cooking was a very important part of who she was, and this pie was probably her crown jewel. Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday. She'd make this pie. It's this perfect apple pie with almost. And it wasn't croissant, but it was like almost had that texture of a croissant outside, where it's thin but a little flaky, but not ultra like thin. Upside down apple pie though, and then with a glazed top. It's got chopped up walnuts on there on the top. I can't explain how good this is.
Can you make this?
Yeah. Is there any chance?
My mom is sending me her recipe on it and what she used from learning from my grandma. So I'm giving it a shot this week for Thanksgiving. I'll try to do maybe a video here and there if I can of certain steps, see what we can do, see what it looks like, maybe give you a final product, maybe have Maggie do the review because she had my grandma's version. She's also had my mom's version, so then she'll have mine. So she'll see, the run the gamut. We'll give her the fair, independent grading scale. So,
well, Matt, I don't have a whole lot going on this week. Obviously, a lot of plans getting canceled. So
I'll leave one on a window for you. I'll raise the window.
You leave one out, man. I'll give it an independent.
That'd be a hell of a review.
Me and Zach will load up the truck.
Oh yeah, I'll stand outside for some free.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
That was the other thing. That was the other one. I think you said it, pecan pie, right, Boomy, for yours?
Yep.
Yeah, my grandma used to make a pecan every year.
Oh,
she'd make this apple walnut. She'd make this apple walnut pie, and then she'd do a pecan every year. And it was just dessert hour lasted for probably 2 days.
Man, I was going to try and fast.
R.I.P. Shout out, Grandma.
Not going to happen. Now I'm going to have to go eat something because I think I'm salivating over here. That sounds absolutely incredible.
Is that your last one, or do you have one more?
No, I think that's everything.
That was my last one, yeah.
Do we have any honorable mentions? I got a couple. If you guys have any other ones, throw them out. Green bean casserole.
Yeah, green bean casserole is always there.
And sweet potatoes. I like sweet potatoes.
I do. And it's weird. I used to hate sweet potatoes, and now I eat them.
Same grandmother that I was just talking about used to make a banana pudding that was absolute fire, too.
We might have to just end this conversation because I'm going to go upstairs and eat everything in my fridge right now.
It was like banana pudding and vanilla wafers was basically all it is. So it's like
it's still probably 10 out of 10.
It was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. You'd feel like your blood sugar going to her Thanksgivings would go up like 100-fold.
Your insulin levels are trying to protect itself because they know they're getting close.
And I think one of you guys brought up a roll too. I think it was that Boomy as well. The poppin' fresh ones, just the old school, just the
Yep.
little chintzy ones.
Yep.
Hey, throw on a baking sheet, throw in the oven for like 15 minutes. Those things get that little crisp outside and so soft on the inside. My God.
Little butter.
It's glorious. I think Maggie and I this year, we're going to try, since we can't do the large get-togethers or anything, we're just going to do our own with us and our kid. And we're going to do stuff throughout the day. So we're going to do like some appetizers in the afternoon. I'm going to deep fry some homemade chicken tenders because it's kids' favorite meal too. And we can snack on that for football. And then we'll go into the full dinner at night. So we're going to try to do a big thing for the three of us.
There we go.
Let us know via direct message, wherever, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what we missed on the first TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition. I'm sure there's some good stuff out there. Maybe your
direct
family.
Message us, please.
Yeah, hit us up.
Who says direct message?
When I'm cooking on Thursday, if I start any fires, we'll start going live then too on Instagram as well. So.
And that was the TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition. Let us know what you think of what we all picked, what you would have picked, what was left out, whatever you, even if you just want to give us what your selection from each category was, tweet it at us, DM us, let us know your guys' thoughts so we can, or send us pictures of what you're eating on Thanksgiving. We'll love to see that too. Like you said, it's going to be a different Thanksgiving for a lot of people, but one thing will not change. The food, hopefully, will not change. Everyone eating all day. But, Boomy, do you got a wacky web story for us?
Yeah, and of course, I started the show off on kind of a sad note, so I'm going to end it on a good note here. Obviously, COVID going crazy as always. You talked about Zach, Thanksgiving's going to be a little bit dinner, but thanks to a good Samaritan patron of a bar in Cleveland, the staff is gonna be okay. A man walked in to Nighttown, a bar in Cleveland on Sunday, ordered a beer, asked for his check. Total was $7.02. And this anonymous man who doesn't want to be known left a whopping $3,000 tip for the staff there because they were closing after Sunday for obviously COVID restrictions. So trying to help. There was only 4 people on staff that day. He said split it up with the people here. So $3,000 to help those people get by in the weeks that they were going to be shut down. So shout out to that guy, whoever that anonymous man in Cleveland is.
You gotta love it.
Still
That's
some
awesome.
good left in the world.
Yep.
Please.
Even in a year like 2020, there's still some good things going on.
100%.
Love it. But post-show, we got the Bears-Packers game Sunday night. I think it's like a 7:20, 7:15 start. So me and Boomy will be going live on our Facebook page before the game and at halftime. And then we might also be doing a little Instagram live if that's how you want to watch it with Maddie during that. So it'll be all crazy things going on. Hopefully at halftime we won't be too depressed as Bears fans. We're not going to be live the whole time. We're just doing a before the game, a pregame, halftime, and then our postgame will be on the morning show that will be put out on Monday morning. So if you want to check that out, we'll be on our Facebook live. We'll be on Facebook on the Typical Chicago Fans page live for the people, so you can ask us questions, talk about the game, what you think's going to happen during the game, and then at halftime. If you got some stuff you want to talk about, hopefully Bears fans won't be too mad. We'll see what the quarterback situation's going on with that too. Like I said, go over to the Facebook page, Typical Chicago Fans. Maddie, thank you for joining me. Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF. The main page is at Typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there, the YouTube page. Subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page. And then wherever you get your podcast from, if it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. Give us that 5-star rating. If it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. And then shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. I got mine on tonight. Boomy's always got his in the background. If you want shirts just like those, go over there and check out. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com. Chicago boys, anything else?
Let's have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Enjoy it responsibly. Enjoy it, smart with everything going on in the world. But enjoy your Thanksgiving, man. Enjoy your ham and turkey.
Got a lot of football going on.
Or in Matt's case,
got a lot of football going on. Eat food and have some fun.
And Matt, don't forget, me and Zach are coming by Thursday night for apple and
just leave it outside
and walnut down cake. Leave it on the windowsill. We'll be by.
Throw it in. I'll leave some in the mailbox for you.
Perfect.
I love it. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, November 25th. We love you all.
Peace.
Bear down.